What's up guys, it's me Jeremy, and after reading a post on Reddit a while back by Najin's Jungler about the 10 Jungler Commandments, as a support player I thought it would be pretty cool to make the 10 Support Commandments. Overall, these 10 things are hugely important concepts in terms of playing support, and they actually come out to be a fairly decent intermediate support guide. Anyways, let's jump right into it. The first is the most obvious, in that you should always buy wards and ward up the map, especially Dragon and Baron. Warding is immensely important in terms of simply just winning the game. Wards are such a strong mechanic right now, and as a support player, it's your job to ward up the map, although you shouldn't let your teammates forget that they have to buy wards too. The second commandment is to always pay attention to the opponent's warding and tell your team where their wards are. This is especially prevalent in the laning phase. If you can't tell your jungler where or if there are wards bot lane, you don't deserve a gank, as it will be almost impossible for them to pull it off. Overall, this is really just to help your jungler as much as possible. Ganking bot lane is ridiculously hard if you don't know where the wards are. The third commandment is that once you've finished your first major item, buy in oracles and clear wards for map control. Map control is very important throughout the mid game, and although I wouldn't buy in oracles if I have a lot of deaths already, or if I know my opponents have very little wards, you should at least buy pink wards, or get someone else on your team to buy that oracles instead. The fourth commandment is to always protect your carries, especially during teamfights. As a support, it's your job to help protect your carries, either by zoning out some of your opponents, or most likely by helping kite for your carries. The fifth commandment is that you shouldn't kite for a carry that isn't strong. Kite for your strongest carry, even if it's not your 80 carry. And this corresponds almost with the last one. Your job is to protect your carry so that they do as much damage as possible, and so that you can win the team fight. So even if it's maybe protecting your mid laner, protecting your strongest carry is the best thing to do, as they will have the largest effect on the team fight. The sixth commandment is that you should try to give as much gold as possible to your carries, specifically CS and kills, but don't be afraid to KS if it is risky. This is fortunately fairly known by most support players. Overall, just try to get your carries as fed as possible. The seventh commandment is that you should sacrifice yourself if necessary. You are much less valuable than other members of your team. Losing a support versus losing a carry or tank is much better in terms of overall presence, as the other players on your team will be able to contribute much more directly to the game while they are alive. That being said, don't get caught out of position and die for no reason, as that helps no one. The eighth commandment is to never roam to be by yourself. You're usually fairly squishy and have no mobility, so it's easy to get caught, and you generate very little pressure by yourself. Since you really can't 1v1 anyone except maybe the enemy support, roaming to a place to be by yourself is a pointless waste of time, as you can be easily tower dove or simply just ignored as your damage is not that high. The ninth commandment is to communicate as much as possible. Other players have to focus on CSing or other complicated things, so they have much less time to type and communicate. Helping them out by making calls and giving them advice is a great way to help out your team and carry. Most players are too focused on the game to see what they could be doing better, so just help them out with some friendly tips where necessary. Lastly, the 10th commandment, and this is, in my opinion, the most important one, is to be a positive player and support both your team in the game and emotionally. A raging team helps no one, and it's usually pretty easy to calm everyone down once the blame game starts by staying positive and not making terrible mistakes. Understand that it's always possible to be carried, as long as you believe in your team and your team believes in themselves. So, those are the 10 commandments of playing support that I came up with. I'd love it if you could support me with a like or some feedback in the comments. And if you have any questions or would like to discuss this video, then I'd love to see you in the comments too. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, please subscribe for future content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time!